the universe demands a designer, then the universe must have an intelligent designer. This argument for God is logically unsound and observationally true. A person can know without a doubt that God exists if for no other reason than that the universe design demands a designer. For every house is built by someone, but he who built all things is God. Hebrews 3:4. The evidence you people say you look for is really right in front of your eyes. And some of you continue to deny it. I'm not saying anybody following me on here specifically, but out there who is watching this that doesn't follow me, or it just came by this video. I'm just saying the proof and evidence is in front of you, and you either can't see it, don't pay attention, or you're denying it. And if it's pride deep down inside basically making you say that you're just refusing to want to believe in God because you don't want there to be a God, because you want to rule your own life, nobody can really help you with that other than yourself. And it does talk about pride in here. Many places. Multiple places. So all I'm saying, if you're not a believer, give it a shot. Nothing wrong with trying it, right? So I don't know everyone on here, everyone's relationship with this. I just hope that you do know Christ. I hope that you do know God. I hope you're right with Him. I hope you're right with Him. Because it's not your works that will get you into the gates of heaven. It's your faith. It's your faith. Period. Have faith in Christ. So let's continue. Because there's still, there's still like 4 reasons left why to explain. So, yeah. Why stop? And I'm supposed to finish this anyway. So, the 4th reason, intelligence demands an intelligent creator. Anything in this universe that possesses intelligence must have been caused by something intelligent. Organisms such as animals and humans possess intelligence. Therefore, animals and humans must have been created by an intelligent being. Intelligence is defined as the capacity to acquire and apply knowledge, the ability to learn or understand things, or to deal with new or difficult situations. It is not difficult to identify certain things that have some measure of intelligence, while recognizing other things that have no intelligence. Humans obviously have an extreme high level of intelligence. They have constructed spaceships that they can guide 240,000 miles to the moon, while both the Earth and the moon are in motion. That takes a lot of level of intelligence right there. They have built artificial hearts that can extend the lives of the sick. Humans continue to construct computers that can process billions of pieces of information per second. That takes a level of intelligence right there. They can write poetry, calculate where Mars will be 50 years from the present, and build everything from pianos to videos, like I'm doing, video game consoles. Humans are intelligent beings. Animals are too. It's just sometimes we choose not to use our intelligence for some people out there. Although there is a very big difference between mankind and the animal kingdom, animals do possess a type of intelligence. Dogs can learn to sit, stay, roll over, and play dead. Dolphins can learn to jump through hoops on command. Hoops on command. Birds can make helpful tools from twigs in order to accomplish some basic tasks. According to the Big Bang Theory, billions of years ago, nothing, quotation marks, nothing caused a tiny ball of matter to explode. Then, billions of years after that, galaxies began to form from lifeless, mindless, unintelligent particles floating around in space in massive clouds of dust. Allegedly, Earth eventually evolved from such a dust cloud. Hundreds of millions of years later, intelligent animals and humans evolved. What humans have consistently observed in nature, however, is that intelligence demands previous intelligence. The reason that humans in the 21st century are intelligent is because our ancestors were intelligent. The reason that animals have some measure of intelligence is due to intelligent creatures that came before them. Dust does not give way to organized dust particles that have the capacity to apply knowledge. Water does not think. Observation and experience show us that the suggestion that mindless mud gave way to intelligent life on Earth cannot be true. Neither nothing nor ignorance, nor inorganic matter ever produces intelligent creatures. So how did the first intelligent creature come to inhabit the universe? Just as the first life demands a supernatural life giver, so the first intelligence beings demand a self-existent, miracle-working creator of intelligence. The fifth reason, morality demands moral lawgiver. If objective moral values exist, then God exists. In other words, if there is no God, atheists, if there is no God, I'm sorry, then there's no such thing as right and wrong. That basically means that me going out here and me committing murder is no different from choosing a tomato from a cucumber. It's just a random choice. I know that's not true. I know there's a right and wrong. I know there's a God. So if moral values exist, then God exists. Objective moral values such as good and evil, justice and injustice do exist. Therefore, God exists. Why do people generally think that some actions are right and some actions are wrong, regardless of their subjective opinions? Why do most people believe that it is evil or wicked for an adult to torture an innocent child simply for the fun of it? For a man to beat and rape a kind, innocent woman, or the parents to have children for the sole purpose of abusing them every day or over their lives. The fact is, most people admit that real objective good and evil exist. Every rational person can know that some things are inality good, while other things are I said this word wrong up there. Initially evil. Most rational people do not merely feel like rape and child abuse may be wrong. They are wrong. Initially wrong. Just as 2 plus 2 can really be known to be 4, every rational human can know that some things are objectively good while other things are objectively evil. However, reason demands that objective good and evil can only exist if there is some real objective point of reference. If something can be legitimately criticized as morally wrong, then there must be an objective standard, some higher law which transcends the provisional and transcendental, which is other than the particular moral code, and which has an obligatory character which can be recognized. If there is no God, man is nothing but matter in motion. Simple as that. Mankind supposedly evolved from rocks and slime over billions of years. How could moral value come from rocks? How could moral value come from rocks and slime? Whoever speaks of rocks, of wrong rocks, moral minerals, or corrupt chemicals. People do not talk about morally depraved donkeys, evil elephants, or immoral monkeys. Pigs are not punished for being immoral when they eat their young. Komodo dragons are not corrupt because 10% of their diet consists of younger Komodo dragons. Killer whales are not guilty of murder. Male animals are not tried for rape. If they appear to fiercely copulate with females, dogs are not depraved for stealing the bone of another dog. Moral value could not arise from rock and slime. The fact that humans even think about morality testifies to the huge gap between man and animals, and it shows that moral value could not have arisen from animals if there is no God. Then there is no objective basis to say that some things are right and others are wrong. Reason demands that objective good and evil can only exist if there is some real objective references point outside of nature. The only reasonable answer to an objective moral law of humans is a supernatural moral lawgiver. So reason 6, the Bible's supernatural attributes demand a supernatural author. If anything in the world exhibits qualities that are supernatural, then there must be something supernatural. The Bible exhibits characteristics such as predictive prophecy that are supernatural. Therefore, a supernatural mind must exist, and the Bible must be the product of that mind. Christians do not believe that God exists simply because the Bible teaches that he does, nor do Christians believe that the Bible is the Word of God simply because the Bible claims to be inspired by God. Anyone can make claims about whatever they wish. Simply because a person claims to have a revelation from a supernatural creator doesn't make it so. However, if the Bible possesses attributes that are superhuman, then the Bible proves itself to be of supernatural origin, and has indirectly proven the existence of the supernatural author. You can read more about this evidence in the material that starts on page 18, which I have that, but if you get your own New King James Version Bible, you can read it as yourself too, right? I mean, you can read all this yourself, not just have to listen to me, correct? So number 7, the historical miracle working resurrected Jesus demands a supernatural explanation. If even one person was to perform supernatural feats such as raising the dead and fulfilling prophecy, then a supernatural being must exist. Jesus Christ did perform supernatural feats impossible to perform in a purely materialistic world. Therefore, a supernatural being, God, must exist. Human beings can do many amazing things. They can run 26.2 miles without stopping, then they show remarkable courage in the face of great danger. They can even walk along a tightrope hundreds of feet above the ground, but there are certain things that are humanly impossible. Humans cannot walk on water unassisted, give sight to the blind instantly, reattract severed ears with only their hands, I said served, I'm sorry, like give back a severed ear with only their hands, or raise the dead. If ever such a man existed, his life would logically testify to the existence of supernatural being. The truth is, approximately 2,000 years ago, Jesus Christ came to earth in the form of a man, and he did not merely claim to be God. He did what a reasonable person would expect if God were ever to prove his divinity on earth. He fulfilled precise prophecies and worked supernatural miracles, including coming back from the dead himself. The life and works of Jesus testify to the existence of supernatural being. You can read more about this evidence on page says 1416 to 1425, sorry. So I encourage you to get your own Bible like this, New King James Version, that has all what I just read in it, and read it for yourself and go over everything I just mentioned, and fact check it for yourself if you're still not convinced or whatever, you know. But that's the reason. Those are the 7 reasons why God exists, and 7 reasons you should believe in God. Now, for the other reason I mentioned, for the other question I mentioned, next question was, I was going to answer was what created God? Basically, where did God come from? Well, here's the answer to that. So the question, where did God come from, assumes that God had a cause. However, by definition, an eternal spirit, the everlasting God, cannot have a cause. Asking about God's cause would be like asking, why is matter eternal? Matter is not eternal. Asking where did God come from is like asking, when did eternity start? By definition, eternity never started. Eternity is without beginning and end. By definition, God, so is too. From what we observe in nature, matter and energy are neither created nor destroyed. Scientists refer to this observed fact as the first law of thermodynamics, which I have mentioned before. Many atheist scientists say that the universe began with the explosion of a tiny ball of matter billions of years ago, yet they never provided a reasonable explanation for the cause of this supposed original ball of matter. The fact is, a logical, naturalistic explanation for the origin of the original ball of matter that supposedly led to the universe does not exist. It cannot exist so long as the first law of the thermodynamics is true. Since the physical universe exists and it could not have created itself, then the universe is neither eternal, or something or someone outside the universe must have created it. The universe is not eternal. In fact, there would be no point in attempting to explain the beginning of the universe with a Big Bang. For example, if scientists believed it always existed, what's more, the second law of thermodynamics, which states that matter and energy become less usable over time, proves that the universe has not always existed. That means it is not eternal. So why do these laws of thermodynamics or laws of causality not apply to God? Because these scientific laws, like all scientific laws, apply to what we find and study in nature. And again, by definition, God is not natural and thus is not subject to the laws of nature. If matter is not eternal, it cannot create itself, then the only logical conclusion is that something or someone outside of nature, who is supernatural, caused the material universe and everything in it. Christians call this someone the eternal God, because he is from everlasting to everlasting. Psalms 90-2. I call that Psalms so much, and I just got it. I meant Psalms. Sorry. Psalms 90-2. But anyway, that is, hope that answers any lingering questions there. If you guys have any more questions for me that you would like to know that this Bible does answer to, like, why does God allow pain, suffering, that answers that question in here, to the best of its ability anyway. But that's about it. So, if any of you have any more questions in here, I'll make more videos and answer them to my best of my ability of, what I know. And as of that, I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. You have a blessed evening.